to the next installment of Manic episodes. Like I said before, there are some bad episodes of good TV shows, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer is no exception. Thus I present to you Exhibit A, Beer Bad. I'll talk about Buffy more in depth another time, but you should know that I love the show. This is due to the wonderful characters, storytelling, and all-around badassery. That being said, Season 4 was kind of an experimental season. The characters were transitioning from high school to college and childhood to adulthood, so that meant a mixed bag of sorts when it came to the stories. The show was trying to be more grown-up, but still keep the same flavor as previous seasons. This meant cool experiments, like an episode that was made up entirely of dream sequences, but then this also meant episodes like Beer Bad. Can you guess what heavy-handed message they have here? The episode begins with one of the few dream sequences that isn't a prophecy in this show. Buffy is still depressed because the guy she had a one-night stand with, Parker, actually meant it as a one-night stand. Translation? He's a douche. Buffy is dreaming that she rescues Parker from a vampire, and he's so grateful that he changes his mind about her. In reality, Buffy is in her psychology class while the teacher lectures about the id and what people want. This is, as per usual in a classroom, fitting for the following events in the episode. Is there ever a classroom where they aren't foreshadowing?
Now I owe you my life.
Later on, Xander starts his sorta kinda subplot about being a bartender. Since he didn't go to college, he sorta schmoozes his way around different jobs this season while living in his parents' basement. It's a little bit depressing, and that's saying a lot for the show.
Aren't you too young to be a bartender?
Au contraire, mon frère.
Mon frère means brother.
Mon gros frère. Behold.
I don't believe this is entirely on the up and up.
What gives it away?
Looking at it.
That's funny too! Why is this a bad episode again? Oh yeah.
Don't guys sometimes keep the girls they really, really like inside these deep little brain fantasy bubbles where everything's perfect?
You've got a little bit of desperation on you there, Buffy. I think the show is famous for having strong female characters.
Nothing can defeat the penis!
What?
So Xander's having trouble on his first day bartending. This is getting a little comic reliefy. Let's cut to Buffy watching Parker. Okay, back to the bartending. Oh, I'm such a klutz! Bye, future love interest! Xander is talking to a girl at the bar when a snobby douchebag shows up and starts making fun of him. There's no real reason for him to be such a dick other than the story needs him to be. He orders some beer. Yes, it's a plot point. Later on, Xander notices Buffy moping at the bar.
Parker's problem with intimacy.
Oh, come on! Luckily, Buffy finds comfort in a whole group of snobby douchebags. Yes, the plot of this episode hinges around the fact that Buffy would A. hang around assholes, and B. want to listen to people talk about socioeconomics as relating to beer. Disbelief? Suspended! There's also another subplot about Oz being attracted to a singer with a bronze, but the payoff for that one is a few episodes away, and also incredibly disappointing. Beer! The fact that this episode paints the picture that everyone in the Buffyverse wants to hang out with complete asshole nerds is beyond me. In fact, in the Season 2 episode Go Fish, Buffy actually spends time with a guy like that and ends up breaking his nose. Even if you want to call this falling back on these guys because of Parker, that's pretty lame. Wait a minute, is that Kal Penn? As in Harold and Kumar Kal Penn? House Kal Penn? Yes, he truly shines in this episode. Also, just as a reminder, Buffy is currently 19 or 20 in this episode, making her drinking there completely illegal. Oh well. The next day, Willow finds Buffy zonked out in front of the TV. Her conclusions for the strange behavior range from sleeping with Parker again to having an orgy, which are both reasons to hang out in your pajamas and become fascinated with tiny TV people.
Speak now.
Yoink! Then it turns out there's something wrong with the beer! Dun dun dun! Underage drinking is sort of frowned upon in this show. This isn't the first time alcohol has led to bad things on Buffy. There was that one time Xander got drugged by a giant praying mantis, or that other time Buffy got drugged and almost fed to a snake demon, to name a couple instances.
You should come to our class on big thinking. It's good.
I'm not sure which is more painful, the guys trying very badly to act smart, or the guys trying very badly to act dumb. I'm not sure how long they sit there and drink, but I can tell you that the next time we see them, it's closing time. Xander tells Buffy she needs to go home.
Beer, good.
Beer bad. Bad, bad beer.
We have a title! Meanwhile, Willow decides to bitch out Parker since Oz is noticing another woman exists, and apparently that's bad. Parker mostly spews shit from his mouth the entire scene. Speaking of shit, may I remind you that this man later went on to work for the White House.
Fire angry!
Xander scares them off with a lighter, because they'll be fine out on the loose. It turns out that the guy who runs the bar has enchanted the beer to get revenge on snotty college students. Yes, that's the only reason. We also never see him again after this scene. Bye-bye, contrived character! The cavemen run around town getting hit by cars and doing stupid things. This is probably doing a lot of internal damage, but oh well, they never appear again after this episode. Realizing that Buffy drank the same beer, Xander and Giles find her making cave paintings in her dorm room. Luckily for the fanboys, she didn't drink enough to turn ugly, I guess. Must have just drank enough to get to hair extension level.
You know, I'm wondering something.
Oh good, this again. Luckily, Willow isn't a complete dumbass and calls Parker out for his BS. But really, the point of them being there is so that the plot lines of Parker being a douche and the snobs being cavemen can finally meet. The two of them get knocked out, but for some reason I can't explain, they seem to be the only people in the bronze, so I guess everyone else is out of danger.
Want people? Where people go?
The TV is off.
Watching Giles try to interact with Cave Buffy is pretty funny.
Buffy want beer.
No, you can't have beer.
Oh shit. Apparently Giles was lucky today, since for once he wasn't knocked out in an episode. The cavemen have started a fire, and one of them is checking out Willow. Luckily, before we can start contemplating the notion of cave rape, they notice the fire and freak out. While on her search for beer, Buffy notices the fire and goes to help. I guess there were more people in the bronze after all. About 4. Must have been a slow day. But luckily, Buffy is here to help.
Where the hell's Giles? Blonde. About this tall. She walks with a sort of, sideways limp.
A lifetime of supernatural knowledge and reduced to comic relief. Oh, Giles, what would we do without you? Sarah Michelle Gellar's stunt double kicks out the window and gets everyone to safety. That is, everyone but Parker, who she hits in the head with the club before saving. Haha, concussions.
Was there a lesson in all this, huh? What did we learn about beer?
Fully.
And thus, the whole semi-storyline that nobody gave a crap about concerning Buffy and Parker's one-night stand comes to a conclusion. A fitting end. So, what did we learn? Underage drinking is bad? Cavemen are funny? Get over your one-night stands? I don't know, but I don't think this episode deserves as bad of a rep as it's gotten. Yes, it's not the best episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I can name quite a few more that are worse. This is an example of an episode where the concept didn't work as well as they thought it would, but hey, I thought it was fun. It had the same humor as the usual Buffy episode, and I thought it was a funny way to deal with the Parker situation and for Buffy to finally get over it. If you like Buffy, then you probably won't hate this episode. And remember the lesson, folks, beer bad, and also foamy.
See the air, lines around my eyes. See the air, sarcasm